Well, during the early hours of this morning, at some stage one of the poles in my hammock decided to snap and give way. So this morning I had to reset it up on the ground just so I could try and get a little bit more rest, but that wasn't to eventuate very well. So this is just a little temporary setup just so I could lay down and relax for a little bit. But it was actually a very uncomfortable night. I will set this up again tonight and have a lay in it and see how we go. But I think I'll set up the tent and sleep in that on the ground like I normally do. So I'll have to contact E-Troll, the company that I got the hammock from, and just let them know that one of their poles ended up snapping and I'll have to buy a replacement. Anyway, them's the throws with camping. Time for some breakfast. So now it's time for a spot of breakfast. I've just boiled some water and put it in my little breakfast bag. So I've got my oats and my dehydrated cranberry raisins, and dehydrated banana chips, which I've broken down a lot more this time. So I'm just letting that settle and prepare for eating. And then I'm also going to have the luxury of having a coffee. So I just pre-make some coffee at home. I think I use about 4 coffee pods. So I'll just pour a little bit of that in there. And then these things are great, the little Devondale full cream milks. I usually use a whole one. I was just thinking to myself before, this place is so remote that there's no lace monitors that come around the campsites. Probably because I don't get too many people here. Alrighty, so we'll fire that one up. Just on a real soft heat. So it's almost 1 PM. I've just been doing some readjusting to the campsite. The reason I haven't videoed any of this basically is because for the last 24 hours I've been in the nude. That's the great thing about this spot. It's so quiet and so remote. There's hardly anybody around. I can get around the campsite completely naked. So I just moved my little tree hanging hook. Got a few other things there hanging off the tree, off carabiners. The little hand saws down there. I've repositioned the hammock. I had to do a little bit of a MacGyver skill with the poles. So I've just used a couple of, God bless them, cable ties. They come in so handy. And I was going to use a bit of string, but looks like I won't be needing that now. So hopefully when the sun goes down a little bit further, I'll jump in and just have a bit of a relax. My clothesline's blown over. That's to be expected. And then here's my other little temporary sun shelter, improvised shade device. This is an old bushy trick if you're using tarps, just to chuck a twig through the eye or next to the eye and use the rope. going across it. I haven't seen my little buddy today. Wonder what he's been up to. Oh, hang on. Better keep it down, he might be snoozing. Yeah, in fact he is. He's having a little afternoon power nap. Better not disturb him. We'll let him be. So I decided to go for a walk on the eastern side of the creek by a couple of 100 metres, do a little bit more exploring, and it really didn't take me very long to find some more Yowie evidence, some tree breaks and some tree structures that really sort of had me a little bit spooked. I didn't feel safe in this area. There was definitely a lot of signs and a lot of signals there to say this is our area and stay out, and as you'll see in the next few minutes they'll appear. This footage now, I was not able to get up there, or I didn't really want to go up there because it looked like there was a walking trail, not used by humans, and there were some big tree stumps leaning up in the trees there, high up, and they actually looked like they were rather large and heavy, so something decent must have been able to lift them and put them in that position. But anyway, I pushed on and went up through the ravine, and as you'll see in a second, there'll be some more tree breaks coming up. Yeah, this area had a very ominous feel to it. I didn't feel very comfortable at all, and I only got another 20 or 30 metres in, and I decided that was enough. I'll turn around and go back, thanks, and I'll show you the reasons why. Hopefully on a full-size monitor you'll be able to see the big branches on an angle stuck up in the trees up high. And then here you have another tree break with a branch or a limb laying horizontal. Like I said, I wasn't going to go up there because it just really didn't feel safe. But I thought I'd just follow there was like a little tributary, like water creek running down over the rocks into the main creek, but there wasn't really too much water there, mainly just exposed rock, but there's a little section there where I followed it through. This bit here was quite scary, to be honest. I had the hairs on the back of my neck stand up as I got a little bit further in. A few little pockets of water still about, which was good. But as you can see further up here, there's a big branch going across the little creek there, and the end of the trunk or the branch is just sitting ever so neatly on a rock, almost like it was placed there. It almost looks like a barrier, as if to say, don't cross this area, this is our turf or our terrain. And I didn't get much further than this, to be honest. I turned around and went back, and you'll see in a second there was a few other tree breaks. So it got quite dense up in here. The jungle canopy sort of encroached on the creek, but here you can clearly see a tree broken. It's a pretty clean snap. And then I pushed on just a little bit further, not much though, and you can see another one, another two actually, in synchronized fashion. So that's a pretty clear warning indicator. And like I said, these were actually quite high up, so there's no way a human would have done them. And they're still a decent sized branch, I guess. And you got to remember, this is probably a good 150, 200 metres off the creek on the eastern side. I don't think you get too much human traffic up this way. And yeah, got a little bit overgrown up through there, and I didn't want to risk it, so I decided to turn around and go back and play it safe. There's another big branch across the creek there. That one could have been natural, but this one here definitely just looked like it was placed. And there's another one up on the ridge there to the left. So I'll leave you with the rest of this short clip to decipher what you may. Hope you enjoy. So I've just put the water on the boil. On the menu for tonight's dinner is beef bourguignon. I haven't tried this one yet, so I'm looking forward to that. The coq au vin that I had last night was delicious, so that's definitely on the menu again. The full moon, or the moon's come up now, and there's a little bit of a light fog or a light mist just rolling through, which gives it a weird, eerie, ominous feel. So we'll see what the night brings.